Alright, what's up guys? So, a lot of you guys are asking a ton of questions on, like, what does the car really look like on the outside? What's the paint look like? What are the seats like? What are the pedals like? What are the shifter like? What is everything like? So, today I'm bringing back Ruby. Say hi, Ruby. For kind of an in-depth, like, I don't know, how would you say this? Kind of an in-depth, not really an overview. It's an overview of Ruby. Let's go. Okay, so I'm going to show you everything on the outside first and give an explanation as to what it is and what it does and why it looks that way or does that thing. So starting on the outside, of course, this is my 2022 Subaru BRZ, otherwise known as Ruby, and she is painted in an amazing color called white satin pearl. This is not just a flat white, and it is not just any sort of metallic white. It's actually pearlescent. And so if you look up close here, I have my phone flashlight out. Yeah, you can see it right there on the edge right there. The whole car looks like that, and it's wild. So it kind of just makes the whole car like a really awesome, I don't know, pearlescent, pinky, white, blue kind of color. Now, that's not a new thing for Subarus. They've been using this paint for their white for a long time. But if you were debating on whether to get the BRZ or the GR86 and you wanted a white one, definitely get this because that is way cooler because the GR86 is just white. Second thing, all of the vents on this car are active and they actually work. So like for instance, this vent right here, that actually is a functional vent and it sends air through here and into the wheel well. It comes out right here and it goes up over here, and this side vent right here, air actually makes its way through these little vents right here and comes out through here and travels along the side of the car, which is really cool. Here's the roof. You have your antenna. It is really nice that they stuck with like the shark fin type of deal. It looks a little different than the first gen BRZ, but still a shark fin. And coming down to here, they have these little, I don't really know what to call this right here, but that apparently does do some stuff for the aerodynamics of the car and the way the car drives at higher speeds. And then we've got the back of the car right here. The back of the car is definitely one of my most favorite parts of the car. And while we're here, some of you guys were asking how the trunk works and how big it is. It is not a very deep trunk, but I actually did bring a golf bag to show you how much room you have in the trunk here. Which, by the way, if you ever get the chance to open the trunk of one of these cars, it's the most satisfying thing. Let me just do that again for you. Hold on. That's so nice. All right, so in the trunk, we've got my golf bag. Now, I didn't put my clubs in it because I'm moving and I'm shipping my clubs out, but here is a pretty large golf bag. And if you were to put it into the trunk of your car, and if the clubs were sticking out right there, you just put it all the way back in there. You have a decent amount of, if you were able to fit it in there and kind of finagle it like that, you would be able to fit a golf bag in the back of your BRZ. Now this is what I mean. It's not a very deep trunk, but it is a semi-usable one for the size of the car. Okay, and while we're back here, I just need to talk about this. The exhaust tips. So apparently some of you are from Japan and saying that in the US it's different than how it is in Japan, and the exhaust tips in the US are more sunken in, because see, you can't see it at all right there. Over in Japan, maybe they have different rules and regulations and stuff like that. Theirs actually stick out of the bumper farther, which is really cool. That's not going to be a problem for too long because we are going to have a Tomei on this car eventually. At least that's my dream, is to have a Tomei on this car, which is definitely possible. And apparently the previous gen exhausts do fit. A lot of people have said that to me. I'm a little bit nervous to buy a previous gen exhaust and try and put it on the car just because it's not like confirmed. So, but if anyone else can definitely confirm that that is like a real thing, then I will definitely get a previous gen exhaust and put it on the car. All right, moving on, we're gonna check out the wheels. These are the premium wheels. The limited wheels are a little bit different. They have more spokes and they're bigger. These are a 17 and the premiums, and the limited gets 18-inch wheels. And mine are currently fitted in Michelin's. These are not like Pilot Sport, these are Primacy HPs. So it's like your all-season type of tire. They're 215, 45, 17s. They definitely grip really well. But yeah, we just went on like a back road drive and they definitely grip well. And it's good to know that on both cars you do get keyless entry, so there's your lock and unlock. There we go. Headlights, by the way, are really good on this car. They are HIDs, the projectors. I think the limiteds might turn with the steering wheel. I'm not sure, but these work just fine. And I think that's all we got for the exterior, so let's move on to the interior. All right, so the inside of the car is actually a really nice place to be in. It's all driver focused and it's very centered to you. and it's really comfortable, and everything's nicely in reach and stuff like that. So I'm gonna dive into literally everything that you guys have been asking about. So this is gonna be like a complete dissection of the interior. Starting with one of the biggest things, which was the pedals, and how do you like the pedals? This is what the pedals look like. They're really, really cool. Subaru's one of those companies where it's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So these pedals have been used in a lot of different cars for a long time. They're super comfortable. Clutch feels really nice, and all the pedals fit perfectly to my feet. And I left the plastic on that. I'm not taking it off. Moving on to like the door handle and stuff like that, and the door. This is all wrapped in really nice soft leather. It's super, super squishy and comfortable. You got a little cup holder right here, like for maybe you put a bottle in there or something. The buttons are okay for like, you know, the window opening buttons. They're not like amazing feeling, but you know, they work. And you got your little window lock thing. You got your lock the car and unlock the car buttons. And then you have your mirror adjustment right there, which is actually kind of a cool spot. 'Cause if you look, that whole this whole spot on the door is kind of pointed towards you, and it's nice and easy to reach, and it's just kind of in a cool spot, because usually, I don't know, the mirror stuff would be like up here on a door or maybe over here, but this is kind of cool that they put it all down here. And then here's your air vent, so you twist it to open it, twist it to close it, and then you can, you know, point it wherever. Okay, and then next we got your steering wheel. Steering wheel's also wrapped in a really nice soft leather. The only thing I kind of would have liked, I would have liked if this was swapped over to here and this was swapped over to here, because I'm used to having my music controls and everything on the right side, and the actual controls that control the stuff that you see in the dash is over here, which I kind of would like it if it was over here a little bit more, because I don't know, this is closer to the dash here, and this is all closer to the like the radio and head unit here. So like if I wanted to change my music or my volume, I would have liked to have it over here rather than it be over there. It's kind of weird, just something to get used to. Get your little startup right there. Really cool, you see the stars kind of shoot at you like that. Everything is digital, so you've got your RPM going up around there, and you got speed right in the middle. And then you can cycle through the menus with these arrows. So on your normal menu, you've got average mile per gallon, instant mile per gallon, how many miles you have left on your tank. Go down a little bit, you got your average speed, your total time in the trip, your total miles that you've taken on the trip. And then you have your tire pressure. I don't know why that's not showing it right now, but usually they're sitting at 35, each one of them. And then if you scroll up, you've got your battery voltage and your oil temperature right there in its own little gauge. And then if you scroll sideways right here, you've got your lap time. It's basically a stopwatch right there. Scroll up, you have like a little dyno graph. It's kind of cheesy because like that's not really how a dyno graph works. You've got lateral G's, horizontal G's, and then same thing right there. I don't know if one's like instant and one records. Yeah, so that's definitely your instant, and then this one records right there. Scrolling, you got your music and stuff like that. You'd have more controls if you were actually listening to music. And then you have your settings, your unit screen settings, car settings, and I'm not gonna dive into that too much, but, and then if you had any error codes, your messages would come up right there. And then if you were to hold down this button right here, hold it down for 3 seconds, it changes to your track dial. So it's really cool. It says track right down there, and then your gear would pop up right there, and then your RPM and your speed right there. Oh, and of course on the other side you've got your gas and your coolant temperature right there. Here's your media infotainment system. So you got like your home screen, radio, media, phone, apps, all that stuff. And then if you hook up your phone to a cord, it would go into the Apple CarPlay or Android Auto and mirror your phone on the screen right there. It's still your average Subaru screen, which is not bad. Then down here you have really satisfying temperature gauges that click really nicely, and they have a nice little LCD screen. And if you were to hit this one time, wait, hold on, there we go. Now the next thing I'm going to show you is literally one of my favorite features of the whole car. This is the armrest slash cup holder, and then if you hit this button, open it up, there's 2 cup holders in there, and your little USB jack and like aux jack and whatever in there if you were to hook up a phone. For obvious reasons, that is one of my favorite features of the whole car. Then behind me, you can barely see the back seats right there. I tried to sit in it as a joke, and you literally can't get in them. It's impossible. I thought it would be my legs that would be like getting stuck in there. It was my feet, and I'll show you. You know what? I'm gonna show you. Oh God. Oh. Okay. All right. So I'm sort of in, kind of, but you can see it right here. My feet don't really fit under. My feet can't fit under the seat. And remember, I pushed the seat. All right, that's how they fit right there. And now if I were to close this, okay. That's as close as you can get to fitting in the back here. I'm not exactly gonna say it's comfortable. I am not by any means a really big dude. I'm like 5'10" and some change. So I would not recommend ever putting anyone back here, if you even can get anyone back here. Also, I found more plastic just now and that's gonna stay there. But it's great for a camera bag. Oh, and I forgot to mention, remember I had to move the seat up so my knees would be in the steering wheel. Okay. Oh, and while I'm out here, here's the seats. A lot of you were asking how they feel and how they are. This is the limited, so it doesn't have the Alcantara insert in there. It's just all cloth, but I love them. They're bolstered really nicely, but they're not too aggressive. Like my last car had leather, like sport Recaros in it, and I didn't like them at all because the seating position, like it had your legs facing the ceiling, and this is just a lot more lower to the ground, a lot more flat, but still bolstered enough to keep you in place if you're kind of doing like some sporty driving or whatever. But I really like the seats. They're very comfortable. Like I said, I'm a little over 5'10", and well, let me take my hat off. This is how much room I have to the ceiling right there. So tall people, keep that in mind. A lot of people really don't like the way it looks in here. They don't like the new steering wheel. They don't like the new dash. They don't like any of that. I don't understand why. I love it. And I understand I didn't have a first-gen BRZ and coming into this car, but it's really nice looking in here. I think Subaru did a fantastic job. The only weird thing I really can't figure out why they did is that. I don't know, you might be able to like put out a little spread of food if you're gonna eat something, or I don't really know, but they took the glove box and like extended out this part so that, I don't know, maybe you'd have more room in it. No, it's solid right there. So yeah, I don't know why they did that. Yeah, so that's gonna be the whole overview of the BRZ. And if you guys want to hear like what the engine sounds like, what the exhaust sounds like, stock and all that stuff, I do have a couple other videos out if you want to go check those out. If you'd like to, go and hit that red rectangle that's down there somewhere or down here and stick around. All our modifications, and we're going to be putting it on the dyno next week and seeing what actually this thing makes horsepower and torque wise, and if that torque dip is completely gone, which it is, but we're gonna find out anyways. So I hope you guys really enjoyed. Make sure you smash the like button for Ruby, and if you're a Subi bro, and I will see you guys shortly in the next video. See you later.